To keep collecting pension payments indefinitely, three sisters resorted to stuffing their deceased grandmother into a freezer. As long as no one knew about her death, they could continue receiving government pension benefits. To avoid detection, the trio bought large quantities of food to pile on top of the body, only feeling secure once the grandmother was completely concealed. They thought they could get away with it until Tia went to collect the pension one day. The staff member noted that the grandmother hadn't appeared in person for a long time and decided to make a home visit. Tia claimed her grandmother had mobility issues, but the staff member wasn't convinced. Fearing exposure, Tia rushed home. They immediately pulled grandmother out of the freezer, but she had frozen solid. There was no way to thaw her quickly. With the staff member already at their door, the three sisters panicked. In desperation, they propped up the grandmother to look like she was playing cards. However, her rigid body aroused Jack's suspicion. Just as their scheme was about to unravel, Tia quickly led Jack away. One day, a man claiming to be grandmother's first love arrived, saying he hadn't seen her leave the house in a month. He threatened to call the police if he didn't see her by tomorrow. Back home, Tia devised a plan. She would disguise herself as the grandmother to fool the old flame. The next day, the old man indeed returned. When he saw how beautiful grandmother still looked, with such a voluptuous figure, he boldly confessed his feelings. Terrified, Tia hastily ushered him out of the room. But this couldn't continue. They needed to dispose of the body quickly. They removed grandmother from the freezer, wrapped her in white cloth, placed her in the trunk, and headed to the cemetery. Disaster struck on the way. They had forgotten to lock the trunk, and when they hit a speed bump without slowing down, grandmother rolled out in her wheelchair, gliding down the street. Her old flame witnessed this scene and gave chase. Meanwhile, the oblivious sisters were stopped by police. They thought they were caught, but when officers checked the vehicle, the grandmother had vanished from the trunk. Unbeknownst to them, grandmother was careening through the streets in her wheelchair. The pursuing old man rushed to check on her, discovering his first love had passed away. He immediately reached for his phone to call for help, but just as the call connected, he too died. When Tia returned home, she found grandmother lying peacefully in bed. Suddenly Jack appeared. It turned out Jack had long discovered Tia's secret about freezing grandmother, but he didn't want to lose such a beautiful girlfriend, so he had secretly brought grandmother back. In the end, they held a grand funeral for grandmother. The only downside, they could no longer collect her pension.